Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yep, what's good, original crew, man? We're back. Got another body cam. This the body cam I chose. C chose another one. We're gonna knock out both of them. Why you still got your earbud? Your AirPod.
My bad, y'all. I didn't even feel it, y'all. Mind your business.
You couldn't feel it? But yeah, I chose one. C chose one. But we're gonna do both. This time we got Grandma Gets Caught After. What?
I told you, don't put no past somebody, child.
She upping it, y'all. On a spree, though.
I don't know, a spree.
And spree typically means more than one, right?
That's what it means. That's what it usually means. I don't know, child. What she got going?
Oh, Grandma.
I
saw a post. I don't know where it happened. That this old woman went on she went to did some theft. The old woman, you wouldn't even think she stole $300 worth of stuff.
Child.
Turned around, turned herself in. And bailed out. She had a mugshot and everything. She came with danglies on and everything.
Where was this at?
I can't remember, bro.
Oh.
Because I seen it a couple times and I said, man, what is this? And I'm running Reddit. Oh, Grandma, though. I said, what?
I'm about to see that mugshot. She said, you ain't stopping nothing.
It looked like somebody would be your teacher. Like, it's an older white woman, but it looked like somebody that would be your teacher. And like, I said, you wouldn't even think. But you want me to tell you what it is? One of them old women that be like, that was still out of K-Dogs. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. But hey, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. If you want the first part, you gotta do it. Check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals,
like it with a thumbs up.
But hey, let's hop into it. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's about, man. Let's get it.
In 2018, two women meet for drinks at a bar in Fort Myers, Florida. One invites the other to her hotel room, completely unaware that she's in the presence of a killer.
Or would you traveling up to the airport with Chicago around this morning? Can I see this thing much?
This encounter sets off a chilling chain of events, linking their meeting to a gruesome crime 1,000 miles away. Now, investigators across state lines must work together in a race against time to put an end to the ruthless crime spree before the killer strikes again.
You're going to find a body there. Somebody better look.
The following report is based on police records, and most of the footage has never been seen before until now. On April 9th, 2018, dispatchers in Lee County, Florida receive a call from a motel manager with reports of a chilling discovery.
911 Village Emergency?
Yes, this is at Marina Village, Snug Harbor down in Fort Myers Beach, and there's a dead body in one of the units. Her body's covered in towels, and there's blood in there.
The manager explained that several units were experiencing a plumbing issue, and every other unit had been checked except for room 404.
When I walked in there, I said, front desk, and no one answered, and the master bedroom was closed, and all the stuff was there. So I didn't want to interrupt thinking there was nothing there. But my boss said, no, go in and make sure, because there could be in that particular bedroom. So I went back up, and I opened up the master bedroom, and the door to the bathroom was closed with towels on the outside of it. So when I went to open up the door, something was blocking it, and I got scared.
Too afraid to investigate alone, the manager asked residents in the neighboring rooms to peek inside. Brave volunteers came forward to help, unaware of the nightmare waiting for them.
Don't get me involved in nothing. I ain't gonna hold you. If you had came to be like, I'm scared, I'm be like, girl, I'm scared too. You know what you done? You want to help? You would have told me to go help. Yeah, you would have.
You said you already said you're not helping.
In my mind, that's where I'm at.
But
typically, actions don't do what the mind tell them to do. And she would be like, just go help her. Just see what it is. I'll go with you. But
Probably.
you just peek in and see.
It just depends on.
It's a dead body, girl.
It depends on like what like, because sometimes I get like these little
Intuitions.
and I'm
little
like
spider tingling.
yeah, a little sensation. I'm like it just depends on how I feel in that moment. Yeah.
Them on the other side of the door.
There was a towel against the door. The door was partially open. We tried to push on it, and we were hitting something. So I looked around the door, and she's laying on the floor with towels over her, and she was bleeding. You could see blood under her towel. The towel looked to be under her head. That's all I could see.
Officers quickly arrived to find a woman lying on the bathroom floor with what appeared to be 2 gunshot wounds. A towel had been draped over her body, and the air conditioning was lowered to a frigid temperature of 61 degrees. The guest bedroom showed signs of use, and multiple wine bottles along with dishes piled in the sink indicated another guest may have been staying there. Whoever it may have been was nowhere to be found. Police discovered that room 404 was rented by 59-year-old Pamela Hutchinson, who was captured on surveillance checking into the Marina Village condominium 6 days ago on April 3rd.
Barely made it by the bell. Pamela Hutchinson. How are you today? Good. Good. Right, the traffic was. Need your driver's license and a credit card.
Pamela reaches into a small silver purse, which was later discovered in her motel room. However, her credit cards and identification were missing. More importantly, she checks into the motel alone, raising questions about who was in the room with her. Searching for answers, investigators continue reviewing the tapes, unaware of the unnerving mystery that's about to unfold. At 3:44 p.m., Pamela pulls into the parking lot of Marina Village in a white Acura with Florida license plates. Shortly after checking in, Pamela exits the elevator and heads to room 404 by herself. However, the following day, she's no longer alone. As she approaches the elevator at 8:13 p.m. on April 4th, she's now accompanied by another woman who bears a striking resemblance to Pamela. They appear about the same age, height, and build.
Hey, what did you do? Stay out all night?
I'm a little thicker.
All day because we don't have any fun? Yes. And I will have to start.
Slight thicker.
They're seen again the following day at 12:45 a.m. on April 5th, entering the elevator and once again heading toward the room.
So, no, I like that. Yes, and we got 2 TVs in there. And I was going to the grandkids. Or when you're traveling up to the airport, we stop. They're all in morning. My feet are just make my shoes.
Further investigation revealed that Pamela was traveling to Fort Myers Beach for a funeral to be with a friend who was scattering the ashes of her late husband. The friend last saw Pamela at lunch on Wednesday, April 4th, and later received a text saying she'd extended her stay to April 5th. However, when she sent a text to Pamela at 10 p.m. on Thursday, she received no response. Surveillance footage shows the unknown woman meeting with Pamela at a restaurant on April 5th at 5:14 p.m. They share a high five, engage in lively conversation, and have a few drinks at the bar. Over 2 hours later, Pamela pays for her meal with a credit card, while the other woman pays in cash. They leave the restaurant at 7:43.
Whoever the other woman is, she thinks she's slick. Paying cash. The only thing is, because she's older, she ain't even thinking about surveillance. She too freely. You know, been spotted with her out on camera too many times.
Too many times.
We gonna go ahead. We gonna try to, but without her paying with a credit card, or
I need to know like the relationship.
because you can
Is
flash
this
your
someone-
ID,
Yeah.
and nobody's gonna remember the name.
Yeah.
But if you pay with a card, we can really link you.
Yeah.
So
can
on
pull
that
this
behalf, being able to be identified is hard. But we see you. But you say you need to see what though?
No, I said,
You said the relationship.
I said, is this like some random woman she just met while she was there? Because I don't know if he already stated that. Because I probably, But I need to know like the relationship. Like, is this a new woman that she don't really know like that, and she just got like friendly vibes from her? Like, oh, she cool. We can hang out. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Card, while the other woman pays in cash. They leave the restaurant at 7:43 p.m. and are seen exiting the elevator and heading toward Pamela's room together. Pamela would never be seen alive again.
Wow.
The answers to what happened to Pamela are with the other woman, but she is now missing. As investigators review more footage, they note that on April 5th at 8:30 p.m., just 45 minutes after leaving the restaurant together, the unknown woman emerges from the room alone. Officers note that she appears distraught, upset, and possibly crying. As they continue observing the footage, the woman's next actions leave investigators deeply suspicious of her involvement. On the morning of April 6th at 6 a.m., the suspect heads to the elevator carrying the same purple luggage bag that Pamela had been seen with earlier. 2 hours later at 8:30 a.m., a woman claiming to be Pamela extends her stay for 3 additional days. She provides a credit card over the phone, but oddly, the card doesn't match the one used for the reservation. Minutes later, the suspect begins making several trips to and from the parking lot. Pamela's car is seen backing into a space in front of a white Cadillac Escalade. The suspect then begins...
Even the way she backing up the car shows she's not familiar with the car. And so she's like, because she's not used. Like, if that's me, I'm backing up smooth. Even you back up smooth if it's your car. If it's a car you're not familiar with, you're going to be like, all right, the wind, you know.
Backing into a space in front of a white Cadillac Escalade. The suspect then begins to transfer items from the Escalade to the Acura. The Escalade leaves the parking lot at 12:42 p.m., but the suspect returns on foot nearly an hour later at 1:32 p.m., where she stays for several hours. Finally, on April 6th at 1:50...
So she's just chilling with the body in the room.
Just in the room. She just back and forth too casually for me. Like, what?
You would have thought maybe she would have brought the body out eventually. You know what I'm saying?
And since it was like, since they already stated that, you know, the bullet holes in the wall or whatever, like, no one heard anything? Like,
9 times out of 10 somebody did, but you never know. Most of the time when you stay in a hotel room, when you hear stuff, you don't pay, you don't mind my business, keep it pushing.
Man.
51 p.m., she heads for the parking lot and is seen driving away in Pamela's white Acura, leaving her body to be discovered 3 days later.
You took her car.
The suspect has vanished without a trace, and as there's no record of her staying at the motel, her identity remains a mystery. Wow. Investigators are left with many haunting questions. Who is this woman, and what role could she have played in Pamela's death? The answers may lie over 1,000 miles away, where an unfolding investigation reveals shocking connections between the cases, far more twisted than anyone could have imagined. 2 weeks earlier, on March 23, 2018, a call is placed to the Dodge County Sheriff's Office in Blooming Prairie, Minnesota, where uneasy concerns soon lead to an alarming discovery.
Could I speak with a detective, possibly? My name's Greg Oswald. We have right up to the point of missing person here. My business partner, and there seems to be something seriously wrong.
Okay, how so?
Well, I haven't been able to talk to him for 16 days, and neither of any of the employees. He's never done this. Dave's never done this. In the 20 years I know him, he's very involved in our business, hands-on.
Okay, and what is his name?
David Reese.
Greg further explains that the Prairie Waxworms farm is just 100 feet away from David's home, where he and his wife Lois reside. Thomas, the farm's manager, explained their concerns began 10 days prior on March 12th.
Lois come down to the shed and told me that David was sick and he would not be down today. And she also wanted me to take care of the payroll because we get paid every bi-weekly. David having some health issues in the past, I did not think anything of that.
Soon, David's co-workers became suspicious after unsettling differences emerged in their usual communication.
The texts we were getting from his phone were not his texts. It just wasn't Dave's style. Dave didn't abbreviate, didn't punctuate, didn't. You could tell it wasn't him.
That's why I said, like, one time in the Discord, in our Discord, people's like, how do we know whether it's you or C? And I was like, you will be able to tell by the way we type, the way we communicate. Like, even when we respond in comments, you can be able to just tell there's different people talking by the way we respond. Me, I'm very I could be very long-winded, or I could be very, like, typically I just talk like just casual talk. She's very much so more punctual. She was more thorough with the way she responds to make
I'm
sure
very formal when I talk.
to make sure she get her
type.
point across
Yeah.
the proper way. Me, I'm just gonna talk to you like I'm talking to you, like just a partner.
Yeah, I try to make sure like I'm not a perfectionist, but I do try to like.
To a point you can be.
So I am. I'm very like, I don't know. You would know. And then 9 times out of 10, I always like put my name at the end.
But even if she doesn't,
but even if I don't, then you'll know.
You would know. Like there's a different style and responses in the way we word things.
How I formulate sentences and the grammar and stuff like that. You'll know. You'll know the difference.
Thomas, Greg, and other employees claim David's text messages seemed to change around the same day Lois began telling others he was sick.
He does talk text. That's what he's always done, you know? And the ones I was getting was like all...
Before got our TF cards, yours will be coming to your mailboxes. Mom's will come to mine. They were having problems today with PayPal. Will be in tournament tomorrow. Have to call back. Yeah.
Okay, that's
guy.
different.
That's a guy talk.
Just talking, nothing.
Yeah.
You get the point. This one.
At the doctor's. ... I'm not going anywhere today, fellas.
Fellas, yeah, that's.
Keep me informed. Loving all the info. Men don't even talk like this.
Keep me informed. Loving all. Yeah.
Lois will keep you informed.
Period.
Guts are flared up.
Yeah.
She tried to throw it. But it's too like a woman would talk. You can
definitely tell the difference.
Honestly, the way a man, typically the way men talk and the way women talk are totally different. Even if you try to imitate, you're never going to be able to do it 100%. Yeah. It's just, fellas talk like, we don't care, bro. It's a natural flow.
Some don't.
Well, majority.
Some don't, yeah.
You will have the one-offs where it's like, all right, very professional. But this gives me woman. Mm-hmm. This gives me man.
Especially the ... honey. Because I'm
the
queen, child.
Even I'm going to say this. Even the comma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exclamation marks and comma.
Even the I'm not going anywhere today, fellas.
Yeah, that just sounds very talk. Like... Yeah.
And ... and thanks abbreviated with an X instead of spelling it out and stuff, you know.
Okay. And he doesn't normally do that.
No, he just texts and it spells out the full words.
Despite their concerns, on Monday, March 19th, 8 days after he was first reported to be sick, Lois assured Thomas that David still had...
You said what, though?
I said, I don't like abbreviating things. The only thing I like normally abbreviate is like laugh out loud, like LOL. Like, I don't really like abbreviate.
Do I abbreviate? I don't abbreviate, but I don't talk text. But they know your husband's routine better than you, because they have been working with him for 20 years. So they're like, even you can be with somebody every day, all day, and know them better than their own spouse, their own mother. It's because the little minute details they do around you, that's their natural. They gonna change it up. Like, say for instance this, somebody asks about a minute detail with you. Mm-hmm. I probably will be able to get that minute detail because we're together 24/7. Yeah. Your mom will be able to. She wouldn't be able to. Mm-hmm. She'd be like, I don't know. And they ask me, I'll be like, well, she do this. Yeah. Because we're together 24/7.
I used to do then in her house, it's probably.
And I might not actively pay attention, but I'm observing and I'm taking it in. But it's not like I'm like, but it's just like, it's habits. Mm-hmm. It's same vice versa. Mm-hmm. Like, I have like certain habits. You be like, nah, that ain't him, because he don't want to operate like that. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Days after he was first reported to be sick, Lois assured Thomas that David still had plans to attend a fishing tournament set to take place the following Friday.
March 23rd, I watched the live weigh-in of the Cabela's Masters Walleye Circuit that David was supposed to be at, according to Lois. When they announced David's name, I did not see him, and I became very concerned.
He then called Greg, David's business partner, who contacted local police to perform a welfare check on David. Deputy Hoffman from Dodge County Sheriff's Office arrived at the house on March 23rd at 6:49 p.m., but no one answered the door. Through the window, he noticed the television and gas.
March, right?
Mm-hmm.
When did this happen? Was this in February? April. Damn.
This happened before
Yeah. So this happened in March, and she went on a run.
Mm-hmm.
And this April the 5th, around April, I can remember, but April the 5th, and this what, March what?
23rd.
Damn, she was gone for a good. And he just been in the house.
Sadly.
But no one answered the door. Through the window, he noticed the television and gas fireplace were on. With nothing seeming out of the ordinary, the deputy left, unaware of the horrifying secret hidden inside the house.
We were so frustrated sitting there talking to these people. But mental health people are going to go out and check, and that guy says, "You're going to find a body there. Somebody better look."
Determined, Greg once again calls Bloomington Prairie Police. This time, officers Peterson and Peach returned to the house. One officer boosted the other, lifting him just high enough to peek through the bathroom window. Lying on the bathroom floor was the body of 54-year-old David Reese. Though investigators in Minnesota would have no way of knowing it, the chilling discovery of David's body would soon reveal haunting parallels to Pamela's death in Florida. David was discovered in an advanced state of decomposition, with a green-colored blanket laying over his body, in a similar manner to the towels draped over Pamela.
Yeah.
Don't they say when they cover the body afterwards, it's like a sign of like they can't view the body because of a relationship. Mm-hmm. It's like they're ashamed of what they have done. Because I have seen people talk about like after they commit something like this, they in return they go and they the manner of how they...
Not necessarily ashamed of what they've done, but it's more so, like, if I can remember...
I can't look at it.
Yeah, it's like this, because it's more...
Guilt. But it's not guilt.
It's not guilt. It's like...
It's a sign of some type of body language.
And I don't want to say, like, a sign of, like, low-key... Because that sounds crazy, because it's, like, contradicting. Like, respect, but it's, like, contradicting. But at the same time, I have heard
like,
that it's like this,
for this
like it's something, it's something so odd. But yeah.
It is like a sign of respect to the person that you did kill, even though you killed them, you still have respect and love and care for them. But it's like I can't view it in this manner.
Yeah, it's something like that I've heard, like cases, like situations like that when it's like very like close to you or something like that. A person, but she did with both of them, and even if after effect, how she comes out, she's just like this. I did what I had to do, but you did what you felt because I don't know. Like I need more. Like why? Like what's the reason?
He had multiple gunshot wounds to his torso. The window was left open, bringing the temperature in the room to a chilling low of around 30 degrees. The eerie similarities raise harrowing questions. Is this simply a coincidence or the beginning of a brutal killing spree? With many questions for David's wife, Lois, Minnesota investigators begin looking for her, but she's nowhere to be found. In an effort to trace her movements, they review local business surveillance, starting from the last time the couple was seen together. On March 11th, David and Lois both enter their local general store. David walks out at 9:01 a.m. and would never be seen on surveillance footage again. The following day, Lois explains to Thomas that David has fallen ill and would begin using David's phone to text his co-workers. However, as Thomas explains, it was more than the unusual text messages that left him concerned that something was terribly wrong.
We have a money bag in that's where my drive slips go and all our checks from our customers. Okay. I did my route on Friday, yesterday, and I noticed everything was missing out of there. All the checks out of the money bag.
On Monday, March 12th, Lois enters Citizen State Bank, approaching the counter with a check from David's account, written to her in the amount of $1,000. The teller fails to notice that David's signature doesn't match the previous ones on record. Over the next several days, Lois would use David's credit card at several establishments, including a liquor store, Vandal's Family Market, and multiple times at the Woodfire Grill, a restaurant inside Diamond Joe's Casino in Northwood, Iowa.
Wow.
She went to a nice joint. Wolf.
That's crazy, bro. She just
across the Minnesota border.
Maybe she was trying to keep up, like he's out here, you know what I'm saying, went on a trip or something. Maybe that's why I got the liquor. I'm going, but the dining experience is still too low.
But that wasn't even like that in itself would kind of raise like with the people that's waiting on him. He was supposed to be at a tournament. They calling his name. Like he already had told, you know, his coworkers or friends or whatever that he's going to be there. Yeah. And then here you come right out there talking about he done fell ill. And like that made no sense. Like that's going to like raise red flags.
Yeah.
Order. Meanwhile, Greg confronts Lois about the missing checks from Prairie Wax Worms.
I sent her a text that I'd been informed there was checks missing out of the office, so I had to call the county sheriff, report stolen checks. And if you know anything, let me know. So she called me back in a couple of hours and said, well, I got the checks. Dave sent me down to get them. They're up. I got them. At that point, I said, Lois, I need to talk to Dave. There's nothing. And I said, Lois, put Dave on the phone. And the last thing she says, Dave, don't roll over, and then hung up.
On March 16th, Lois would return to the Citizen State Bank with another check from David's account, written to herself for $2,500.
And she just got a smile on her face. She's just living life.
Because she's just trying to, I'm just going to act like normal. I'm just going to, you know, whatever.
But it's low-key a little scary and eerie that you can, like, move like this.
And I do wonder, have there been, like, any, like, concerns or red flags about her behavior? Or, like, say, for instance, just like Greg, for instance, because with him texting was like, hey, like, you alive? With the, you know, like, with the, like, print, like, I'm wondering, like, have they like had any like issues, Dave and
like that he probably previously mentioned to,
or does she
maybe
come
friends
off
and
very like, you know, like mean-hearted or controlling, and like you like it's not surprising that she'll do something like this because of her character, how, you know,
like the people around them would know like how she truly is on an everyday basis. Like us viewing, we can't read nothing, but
because this behavior she's put on.
I'll say this. The reason why she's able to write checks because they probably already know her at the bank as well as his wife. And I'm gonna say this: sometimes on some real spill, if it's your wife and there's a different signature, they automatically assume, well, the wife just signed it for him, you know, and they'll let it pass. In a lot of situations, it doesn't have to be your signature. Like you know how, like, say for instance, we somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. And they be like, we need a signature. Sometimes I'll tell you, I'll be like, see, just sign it. Mm-hmm. And you'll try to sign like my signature, which no one in the world can do my signature. Yeah. My signature is my signature. Yeah. It's a legit autographed signature. Yeah. And nobody else can be able to do it. Like, you tried to imitate it.
I haven't tried because I can't do it. Like I haven't tried to do it because I just can't. Yeah, the way that you do it.
Yeah, and I'll be like, just
I never be able to imitate.
And she'd be like, I'd be like, that's ugly. She'd be like, I can't do what you do.
The teller once again fails to notice the signature and gives her the funds in cash. As her shopping spree continued, Lois walked into a Fantastic Sam's hair salon in Austin, Minnesota on March 17th.
Yep, she came in and she was going to be going out for St. Patrick's Day. She said that she was going to be going to Diamond Joe Casino, so she wanted her hair to look like Peggy Bundy and have it nice and big.
3 days later, on March 20th, Lois is once again spotted on camera.
From what I'm understanding, this is 2018. Bitch, why are you trying to look like Peggy Bundy? Boy, you something wrong with this hoe.
And you know, the more and more, like with the bank, her past like the signature, they not she gaining a little bit more confidence here and there to do like just moving freely. Bro. You know what I'm saying?
This man been laying there for days.
For days, man.
And she knows she.
And kudos,
you know what?
And kudos to Greg for keep like pressing it. Like, y'all need to go to the house. Y'all are going to find something. Some is odd. Some is off.
I'm gonna tell you how fucked up she is. Cause she even know I gotta keep it cold so the body don't decompose too fast and the smell. Yeah. Even having the window open, even though it's keeping it cold, it's also not allowing the smell to get too horrible.
Mm-hmm.
She knew what the fuck she was doing.
At the general store, this time wearing the same hoodie that David was wearing on the last day he was seen alive. At this point, David hasn't been seen in 9 days. Over the next 2 days, Lois returns to the bank, depositing over $8,000 into David's account at the drive-thru before transferring the money back into her account.
I'm just in awe that they would take a check from one company to Prairie Waxworms and let her cash them. But it looks like about 12 grand minimum, 14,000.
Okay. Wow. So they were actually the company checks?
Yep. Well, not Prairie Waxworms. It was our customers' checks who had paid us, made payable to Prairie Waxworms.
Lois would hit the Diamond Joe Casino again on March 22nd, where her unusual behavior caught the attention of a casino regular.
Just kept acting like she was real suspicious on who people were and what was going on, you know? Like she wasn't quite sure of her surroundings, who she could trust and who she couldn't.
Okay, so paranoid basically?
Yeah, kind of.
Finally, on March 23rd, when David fails to appear on the fishing tournament's live stream, Lois steps into the Citizen State Bank for a final time. She presents a $7,500 check from David's account, writing spring trip in the memo. After the teller delivers the cash, Lois takes David's white Cadillac Escalade and vanishes. It would later be discovered abandoned on Fort Myers Beach in Florida.
As a detective, you got any inkling if she's in an area? Do you think she's just... God damn it, I don't know how you get away.
No, nothing so far.
I just don't know.
Detectives in Minnesota and Florida have yet to realize the shocking connections between the murders of Pamela Hutchinson and David Reese. But a lucky break will soon drive the two separate investigations toward a fateful collision. 3 days before Pamela's murder, Lee County Sheriff's Office in Florida had received a concerning 911 call.
Hi, there's an ATV out for a Lois Reese from Blooming Prairie, Minnesota in Steele County. She just got out of her car at my Florida house. I also live in Blooming Prairie, so I know about the whole thing. She's in a white 05 Escalade. Okay, and if you do some research, it's Steele County, Minnesota, that's trying to find her.
Okay, so she has a warrant, is that what you're saying?
Yes, for the possible murder of her husband and for sure for embezzlement.
Oh, so she knew some people down there in Florida that made her even flee. But them people in Florida like, shorty, we don't rock with you like that. Shit, you know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to hide you. That what it sound like.
Charges.
Earlier the same day, the 911 caller, Tessa's daughter in Blooming Prairie, received a call from a woman named Stormy Liberty, who claimed to be Tessa's friend and asked for her address. Stormy Liberty was later identified as an alias that Lois used when opening a cell phone account. She was gone by the time police arrived, and just 3 days later, Pamela's life came to a tragic end. Now, after Pamela's death, as one deputy reviews the security footage from the Marina Village motel, he recognizes the woman with Pamela as Lois Reese, based on Tessa's 911 call from 3 days ago.
I do rentals, so she had a little notepad like she was going to rent, but that's what I thought. And then she got out, and she saw me. I said, can I help you? And she looked at me and she said, oh, I'm in the wrong place. And she quick got into her Escalade.
You said it was a 2005 white Escalade?
Yep, pearl-colored Escalade.
After being recognized in the surveillance footage, Lois is officially named a person of interest in Pamela Hutchinson's murder. On April 10th, investigators in Florida contacted Minnesota law enforcement, requesting a photo to confirm their suspect. And finally, information between the two investigations was shared. With evidence connecting Lois to more than one murder, investigators are left with the chilling question: is she finished, or is she planning to strike again? While following her trail, those who knew her begin to share a troubling history with investigators, one that hints at a possible motive for her ruthless actions.
My grandpa passed away and she got her inheritance, and she was so unbelievably bored out there at that house. And
I said that. I don't know if they had kids or not.
Probably not kids in between the two.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't know if they had kids.
She probably had kids, or he probably had previous kids, because
Yeah.
But you bored at the house, and that's what made you like.
Okay, let's
so unbelievably bored out there at that house. And
what? See,
nothing. I was just. You don't have to pause just because I'm pointing at stuff. I was just looking.
Lois'
I was like,
daughter.
oh,
So
this
she
her
actually
daughter.
has a child.
Yeah, go ahead.
But it might not be.
I don't know. I was just like, oh, I didn't see that in the corner.
So unbelievably bored out there at that house. And the only time she was happy is when she'd have the grandkids out there, and she had them a lot.
Okay.
My kids and my brother's kids were there a lot. If she wasn't at, with us, like her kids or her grandkids, she was probably at the casino. And I had told my dad and I told her that I was getting concerned with how much she was going there. And she's like, Bria, it's just something for me to do. It's fun, but I don't have a problem. She blew through hundreds of thousands of dollars there. I had no idea it was that bad.
With Pamela's credit cards missing, investigators began to trace where they may have been used. On April 6th, a woman claiming to be Pamela Hutchinson entered a Wells Fargo and withdrew $5,000, as seen in still images provided by the bank. The distinctive white hat, sunglasses, and blue shirt are the same clothes she was wearing in the surveillance footage at Marina Village.
So does she have a gambling problem, or?
Oh, absolutely.
So
$400,000 worth 2 years ago.
How much?
400 stolen out of a trust that belonged to her dad and brothers and sisters that she was managing.
Did you say 400,000?
Yes, sir.
As investigators continue to follow Lois's trail, receipts show that she withdrew $1,500 from an ATM on April 7th, one day after leaving Marina Village in Pamela's stolen car.
How did he make it so she couldn't have any money? Do you know?
Well, I think the last go-around, you got to read between the lines with me. This is just conversation with Dave and I. I know all credit cards were taken away. I know she had no bank account. She wasn't a signature on any of his accounts.
Investigators also discovered that Lois had recently checked into the Hilton Hotel in Ocala, Florida for a day, using Pamela's credit cards and forging her signature on the room service receipts.
When all the money stuff came up after he realized, that she has a bad gambling problem and she went through all that money, she was put on lockdown, she couldn't have access to any money. And I told her many times, I understand why my dad was doing that. I get that. But I just told her that she should just come live with me or my brother, because it wasn't a good situation to be in for either one of them.
Brianna further explains that the financial issues Lois faced as a result of her gambling problem led to an attempt to take her own life 2 years prior.
My dad found out about something, probably money related, I'm guessing, and he was yelling at her, and he said a bunch of awful things to her, and then he left to go to the bank, and she said that she just felt like she just didn't want to deal with it anymore.
Sure.
As Brianna continues to explain Lois's financial troubles, she recalls a recent situation involving her disabled sister Kim that landed her in legal trouble.
My mom actually took care of my aunt for 2 or 3 years. She lived with her, and was really, really, really awesome, and did everything by the book that she was supposed to. And when she got into gambling, I think she took some money from my aunt Kim.
Okay.
They were going back and forth. My mom skipped the court thing. Her lawyer was gonna settle for $30,000, but then my mom, her behavior, she just doesn't address anything. She just pretends like it doesn't happen, so she didn't go to court. And because she didn't, they put a full judgment, so $100,000 is, I think, that they're trying to get from them. Yeah.
Though Lois's alleged gambling history provides valuable insight for the detectives, they still have yet to establish her current whereabouts or the driving factor behind this horrific crime spree. With Lois's location and her motives still unclear, the fear that she may be armed, dangerous, and hunting for a new victim fuels their efforts as they continue following her trail. On April 8th, one day before Pamela's body was discovered, Lois attempted to use Pamela's credit card at an ATM in DeQuincy, Louisiana, but the transaction was declined. Investigators learned that Lois then traveled to another casino in Louisiana and won a $1,500 jackpot. As the interviews continue, one investigator brings up a possible concern that may make finding Lois an even more challenging endeavor.
I was just wondering if she was could make it to where she looked something different with makeup beyond the hair color, that she had some kind of a talent of, what do you call the people out?
Oh, makeup artist?
Makeup artist, yes.
But I don't think that, but I think that she was skilled enough with makeup that she could make herself look a little different. But I would say with a gambling problem,
yeah,
and now she's got time on her hands,
right,
she'll be at a casino.
However, Lois's son Billy has a far more grim expectation for how this fugitive search may end.
Based off her past actions, I'd say, I don't know, finding her alive probably isn't very good, as sick as that sounds.
Right.
She's obviously tried to do it before. I think this is a little bit more serious than that was, spending money.
Right. Right. You think she has any means of doing that, or?
Of hurting herself? Yeah, if she killed my dad.
At 11:16 p.m. on April 8th, Pamela's stolen Acura is seen traveling westbound on Interstate 10 in Lafayette, Louisiana, and once more on a license plate reader in Texas before the trail goes cold.
Texas?
With Lois continuing to cross state lines, a U.S. Marshals task force.
Yes.
So she didn't have to cross over Alabama. No, she had to go through Georgia. Well, it depends on how you do it. Because you can go from Florida to Alabama straight because of that. But I'm going to just say Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. Could she be trying to go to Mexico?
At this point, with her...
I was about to say a joke, and I said, bro, this ain't no joking about it.
Yeah, please. But yeah, so... That's crazy, man. And I'm like, Billy... yeah. If she just took my daddy, what makes you think she won't possibly take her own life? She's tried before.
I don't think she.
But she may not. But I'm saying
no.
you still
Let
can.
me explain why I'm saying
Go
that.
ahead.
It's because some people do that for sympathy. Oh, go cute. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't.
Yeah,
never
well,
planning
I
on
know
doing
that much, but I'm just saying.
And then she committed these two acts. Then she turned around. She's not in the process to hurt herself. I think she took out the woman to steal her, Pamela, to steal her identity.
Yeah, that's
that was the main motive.
Yeah, like I kind of put that together, but yeah, and
then,
for money, to get more money or whatever from her.
Yeah. But do you?
Force takes over the investigation and issues a BOLO for Lois Reese. She's now wanted for 2 murders, grand theft auto, financial theft, and identity theft. As the case gains national attention through widespread media coverage, she earns the nickname Killer Grandma. News outlets nationwide ask anyone who sees Lois or her vehicle to come forward. When a promising tip brings investigators one step closer to ending her reign of terror, one question remains: can they get to her before she disappears once again? At 6:58 p.m. on April 19th, over a week since she was last spotted on traffic cameras, Lois enters Dirty Al's restaurant on South Padre Island in Texas, just 30 miles from the Mexican border. She lingers upon entering, taking a moment to look at the posted menu near the main cash register. It isn't long before an employee sees Lois and stands watch. As she suddenly makes for the exit, the 2 male employees briefly converse before following her.
That's a Florida license plate.
Well, she was driving a Florida license plate. Where?
Right here, that white car.
That couldn't hurt.
The man takes down her license plate and local authorities are contacted. Police arrive at 7:50 p.m., nearly an hour after she left.
I ain't gonna hold you. I don't be knowing, like, when they be having, like, if that was me, I would be like, I don't know who that woman is. Because I don't be, you know what I'm saying?
You don't be paying attention.
I don't be paying attention, bro. I'm very tunnel vision. And like the video we watched earlier, you never know. You could be around a killer. You never even know.
But
I wouldn't.
I think it's different than like somebody that, you know, that done something like whatever in the past, and you could be living among somebody because they've been fleeing out of sight, because you don't see them, but her face been everywhere, like at this time on the news.
I ain't know this woman in 2018.
I'm not talking about you. I'm saying for them in that moment.
Bro, the killing happened in Minnesota and in Florida. She could have been anywhere. What I'm saying is in 2018, I remember where I was in 2018. I never seen this woman's face before.
I'm not talking about you anymore. I'm just saying, let's go, Chad.
You ain't getting what I'm putting
I
down.
am getting you.
No, you're
The
not.
building. It seems as though she slipped away once more. It's a devastating blow to their search, but in a shocking twist of events, while officers wait for someone who can show them the surveillance footage, they begin to search the conjoined parking lot and spot the stolen car at the restaurant next door. They enter the restaurant and find Lois sitting at the bar, talking with an unknown male, but wait for backup before moving in for the arrest. At 8:25 p.m. on April 19th, multiple officers move in and finally make an arrest, unaware of just how close Lois may have come to claiming a third victim.
Facts.
With Lois now in custody, one chilling question remains unanswered. What drove Lois to commit not one, but two brutal acts of murder?
Lois? What's your last name? Yeah. I'll come out. Right now he's going to be detained. One detained. Double lock it. We're going to talk to him. Okay, no.
According to the man she was with, he and his friend met Lois at Padre Rita's Grill. She told them she was staying next door at the Motel 6 and was a widow searching for a place to live in South Padre. The jaw-dropping evidence in her motel room will later be found in a search by investigators. For now, the man explains that he and a friend went with Lois on April 17th for drinks before dropping her off at her motel. Both men found Lois to be completely normal, never witnessing any emotional breakdowns or outbursts, with one mentioning she was even flirting with him.
Is your driver's license in here, ma'am?
Yes.
It is. The way I can run it real quick.
So how did you get here?
Okay, this one right here.
Just an FYI.
Okay. It's not really your car. Okay. You wanna run it real quick? It's out of Minnesota. It's in there. It's out of Minnesota? Yes, sir.
Yeah, but the warrant I do believe might be out of Florida. I didn't get a chance to even look up our stuff because it was like.
Yeah. How that is. Lisa, if you wanna.
I'll get my cuffs back when we get over there.
Just go in and grab your unit and follow him to the station.
When news of her arrest broke, a woman came forward with a harrowing story. She told investigators that while eating alone at a restaurant on the island, she befriended a woman who identified herself as LaDonna, who was recently widowed and spending time away from her family to grieve. They met again for drinks on April 15th. The woman allowed LaDonna to come home with her, letting her stay in her guest bedroom. They had plans to meet again on Friday, April 20th, just one day after her arrest, where she learned LaDonna was Lois Reese. When investigators...
Girl, you could have been another victim.
She was about to get you, take your identity, and roll with your identity now.
Baby, be careful. I understand people seem like so sweet and harmless, but you never know people. You never know what they have done or what they're capable of doing. No, baby.
That's crazy, though.
From Minnesota and Florida learn of her arrest. They fly to Texas to meet with Lois for an interrogation. However, Lois invokes Miranda rights and asks for a lawyer. Eventually, Lois will break her silence and recount the shocking details of her final moments with David and her motives for pulling the trigger. For now, Lois raises an unusual concern.
The process for getting you out of here takes a little bit of time, and you got to get transported back to Florida. So I imagine in a couple weeks, we'll see you back in the Lee County Jail, and then from there you'll be eventually going back to Minnesota to deal with the charges up there.
Okay.
Do you have any questions of us right now?
Will they put me in a room that has a bed?
I'm sorry?
Will they put me in a room that has a cot or something?
When you come to Florida?
For 2 weeks,
Oh, here?
I'll sit on that bench.
No, I believe you're going to be transferred to a sheriff's office in the area.
Okay.
You'll have to see a judge, I think, for extradition purposes in the morning, a magistrate. And then from there, you'll be going to a sheriff's office where they'll house you until we come pick you up.
And they'll be able to answer some of those questions that you have on the bed. We just don't, we're not
from here.
So
Oh, okay.
if you do have some of those concerns
Well, they just-
when you go downstairs,
I just know it'd be better for my edema and my blood pressure, like
Yeah.
they said.
And probably better if you ate some food too.
Bitch, you weren't thinking about your blood pressure was just at the casino, when you at the bars, when you plotting to kill folks, when you out here going, man, shut the hell up. Don't lay your ass on that hard ass rock cast pad they got ready for your ass. Man, I hate motherfucker. Talking about my blood pressure. I want some comfortability to lay. You think they laying comfortability in that? And man,
Yeah, but it'd be worse if I had to go to the hospital and have an attack. It'd be worse.
Oh, for sure. All right, that's why we're getting you crackers right now.
That's fine.
One final question from Lois leads to a shocking revelation as she learns the truth of just how far her notoriety has spread.
I guess one question I have is, do my kids know I'm alive and here?
Yes. I don't know if you know this or not, but your whole story has been national news. Okay. It broke last night. It broke last night that you were arrested in South Padre Island, that you're alive and well, and that you were found by the U.S. Marshals and the local police department here. So
Okay, so they know.
I don't personally know that they know, but I can tell you that every local news media outlet nationwide has picked up the story.
Okay.
Before searching Lois's motel room, investigators spoke with an employee of Motel 6. She says Lois claimed to be a victim of domestic violence, hiding from her husband, who was a cop. When she next saw her, she appeared to be completely different, even dressing more provocatively. During one conversation, she heard Lois say, "I need a sugar daddy," before asking about another customer seen driving an expensive vehicle, raising unsettling questions about her future plans. A search of her motel room uncovered a mountain of evidence. Among the discoveries is a white towel wrapped around a pair of sunglasses, previously seen to be worn by Pamela. Lois's distinctive white hat, earlier seen to be worn as she withdrew $5,000 using Pamela's identity, is located on a pile of clothing. They also locate credit cards and checkbooks belonging to both David and Pamela, along with Pamela's luggage. A road atlas is found, and tucked within its pages is a brochure for a casino in Eagle Pass, Texas. They also uncover Pamela's driver's license, and finally, 2 loaded firearms. With a mountain of evidence against her, Lois is extradited to Florida and held without bond to face charges for the murder of 59-year-old Pamela Hutchinson. To avoid the death penalty, Lois pleaded guilty on December 17, 2019 to 1 count of first-degree murder.
that's what I was thinking. I said, you in Florida? You don't even know what you done did in Florida, shorty. That's death penalty state. But I guess since she pled guilty. But I don't know about Minnesota. I don't know, like, typically up north, they don't do the death penalty, right? I know, like, for sure, I know Wisconsin don't got it. But typically, I heard, like, up north, they don't do, you know what I'm saying? They'll give you life.
Grand theft of a motor vehicle, grand theft of property, and criminal identity theft. She later returned to Minnesota to face charges for the murder of 54-year-old David Reese. At a hearing on August 11, 2020, in the auditorium of a Minnesota high school, after delays due to coronavirus, she pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and shared with the judge her version of what happened on the fateful night of March 5, 2018. According to Lois, she and David had a heated argument following their grandson's basketball game. She claims David handed her a loaded firearm, encouraged her to turn it on herself and take her own life, saying, "Maybe you will get it right this time." In her own words, she explains, "He was right in front of me, and I looked right at his heart and I pulled the trigger." However, this is based solely on Lois's account, and David will never have the opportunity to confirm or deny her claim.
Right.
As for Pamela, Lois never provides a reason for taking her life. For both murders, Lois Reese was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. She's currently serving both life sentences concurrently at the Shakopee Correctional Facility in Minnesota.
That's what I thought, though. I thought she probably would have did her time in Minnesota. Because the initial crime happened in Minnesota. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. You never know. And that's the sad part of never knowing. Because what other reason, to be real, the only other reason why Pamela was killed because of opportunity to use her identity.
Yeah.
Beyond that, because they didn't, obviously from the information we heard, they didn't know each other. So.
That's sad. Befriended someone that she thought, like, oh, she cool, good conversation, seemed like she good vibes. Everyone said she seems like a normal person. She seems like nothing's, she just an innocent woman in their eyes. That's why I said, what does a killer look like? What does a person what does these people look like? You just never know. Like, you can be, I'm not going to treat you, because I don't know, I'm not just going to put it, but you're not coming to my house, you're not coming to my room, I'm not, we not that cool for me to, trust, I don't trust no one like that, for me to just be inviting you into my space. I can't, that's just a no, and it's just sad that, Pamela trusted her, and, in that moment, and you do that to her. And then with her husband, we would never know, really what happened in that house, because he's not here to tell his side of the story. So that's sad.
But hey, man, y'all spam us up y'all thoughts about it for us in the comment section down below. Let us know y'all opinions about it. But as always, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are
Kid and C.
We out.
Peace.
Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Get my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.